Hello, this is going to be my November wrap-up, and I am doing a wrap-up after a really long time, but I read quite a few books in November, so I did want to film this. I read 9 books, which is a lot for me. Like, I know it's not a lot for a lot of booktubers who read like 20 plus books, and I once watched this one booktuber reading 30 books in a month, but I think I could get there if I tried. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent here, but we are going to be looking at the books I read in November. November was quite an interesting month because I read quite a few audiobooks, which is so new for me. And like, the funny thing is I just have one physical copy that I read, and all the others are either on my Kindle or on audiobook. But I'm gonna dive right in. And I'm gonna give you a little small review of what I think of the book. So the very first book, I have all of them here in my Goodreads. By the way, if you want to follow me on Goodreads, it's @NiaTheNerd. Just putting that out there. But I am going to be telling you the books I read now. So the very first book is The Bake Shop at Pumpkin and Spice, which I kind of read in November. Like, I finished it at the very beginning of November, so I was reading it in October, like at the end of October for Halloween, and it's a collection of 3 short stories. So the authors are, I think, Donna Kaufman, then it's Kate Angel or something, but I think it's like 3 authors, I'm not sure, and there are 3 short stories, and I listened to it on audiobook. I'll put like a cover art here, but it was a good audiobook. But the very first story was a bit too lovey-dovey, and these are all sort of romances, like romance stories set in the same town, and it does give me like those really cute town vibes, and it's like beautiful. It feels like a romance movie, sort of like those short stories that they have of couples. But yeah, the very first story was a bit too lovey-dovey and weird, like it was insta-love, which I don't like. The second and third stories were really good, and they did involve baking and stuff and just Halloween theme. So if you're like looking for a book for autumn, it was a really good one. So yeah, I don't know how it would feel to read it, but the audiobook was fairly good. The next book that I read is another audiobook. Who am I? But this was Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. I'll put a cover art here, but oh my god, this book. It was a thriller, and honestly, it didn't have like you know, a twist to it or anything. Like, we knew what was happening in like, I think 25% of the book or so, but it is still so creepy because it feels like this could happen to just about anyone. I'm not gonna give any details because it's all going to be spoilery, but it's just about a husband and wife, and you know, it seems like a perfect marriage, but something's off. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was a really good book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I gave The Bake Shop at Pumpkin and Spice 3 out of 5 stars, by the way. So yeah, this was 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the narration. It was like a British accent. Loved it. So yeah, that was my second book. The third book that I read is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and here's the book that I have. I read it with my physical copy. I had bought this in May during my birthday, and I had wanted to read this during like the autumn season. Not autumn exactly, but like Halloween season. And it was gothic, and it was really like, I think it's like a gothic classic, and it was just so beautiful. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but the way Daphne du Maurier writes, she creates this setting that you're just completely immersed in, and I could feel myself like I was there at Manderley. So the character who's in Rebecca, you never find out what her name is, which is kind of strange, but you always know her as Mrs. De Winter, and Rebecca is Mr. De Winter's ex-wife. And when our main character goes into Manderley, which is where Mr. De Winter stays, she starts getting obsessed with Rebecca's ghost. But like, is there really a ghost? You're gonna be very intrigued. I was too. But the characters in this book, they were just like, I can't even like put a word on it. They're not like great or anything. They were very mean, I feel, but at the same time very memorable. Like, I'm not gonna forget them. Especially Mrs. Danvers, like, oh my god. Also, I was trying to watch the Netflix film that they have released recently, Rebecca, but I haven't finished it, and I don't think it matches up to the book, obviously. Like, it's fine. Just thought I'd put it out there. But the next book I read, which is Banned Money Secrets by Richard Dodds. So like put a cover here. I read it on my Kindle and it was a reread. So I have been getting into manifestation a lot, and this is a book on manifestation. Like, Richard Dodds has written a lot of books about manifestation, and this is about money mindset and about how you know, you need to change what you think about money rather than thinking physical aspects first. And it really has been something that has stayed with me. I have used these laws and I'm trying to reread it just to get like understand them better, because you know, when I read a nonfiction once, I just do not register it well. So I'm probably going to again reread it in 2021. But yeah, it's a really good book in my opinion. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Loved it. Oh, I'm forgetting to tell you the ratings, but Rebecca had 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah. And honestly, I give like stars, like 5-star ratings very rarely, and Rebecca, I would have given it 5 out of 5 stars, but the ending was just something I just like wanted more. But it's what it is. The next book I read, which was again an audiobook, I'll just put a cover here. It's The Chase by Elle Kennedy. It's, I think, first in a series of books. I don't know, but I like wanted to listen to this audiobook. It was a very chill audiobook, but it was nothing exceptional. It's this romance story between this guy and a girl who are like apartment mates. Is that what they call it? And like, I felt like the book was good. There were a lot of good things like women empowerment, and like it was about this guy not being able to fall for this girl because she's the last girl he should fall in love with, which was a little dramatic. And just, I liked it overall, but the only thing I did not like is at times they were like objectifying, like not objectifying exactly, but they were focusing on like the body and like, oh, this girl is so tall and has like tall legs and all of that, which I didn't like. And like the guy was also perfect and chiseled, and I know that's what romance books like to do, but I don't like it as much. I don't know. And it was kind of smutty, like a little bit smutty, so keep that in mind. It was all right though. Yeah. The next book that I read is Find Yourself. I'll put it here. It's again got the F word in the title, which I just don't understand why they do that, but like whatever. And I'm not even gonna call this a book, honestly. It is like a book of quotes. It's got a lot of quotes in it, so I honestly read it in like 30 minutes or even under that. But yeah, I gave it like 2.5 stars out of 5 because there were some good quotes in there. But yeah, I would just not call it a book, but it was there on Goodreads, so yeah. The next book I read, again an audiobook, The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks. Again, quite a popular book, I feel, and it's a thriller, but there is no twist in this book. I don't understand. Like, after reading Behind Closed Doors, I was just not surprised by anything in here. It was very basic. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. It's just, I have read many good thrillers and this was just not one of them. Like, the story was so intriguing. I loved the narration, but it just fell short later because I was constantly waiting for something to happen and nothing happened. I just don't understand. But now, the next book that I'm coming to is probably the best read of the month, is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, and I read it on my Kindle, and this was a buddy read with the lovely Cath from My Pages and Books. I keep mixing up her Instagram handle name. Her Instagram handle is Cath Loves Books, and we read this together. It was my very first buddy read and I just enjoyed it so much. So she is currently living in the States and I'm in India, so there's like a 12-hour gap from here to there, and we still made it work, and it was just so much fun. On the Come Up is about this girl, Bree, like I think her full name is Brianna, I'm not sure, but like everyone calls her Bree, and she wants to become a rapper. She's a black 16-year-old, I think, living in this place called The Garden. Now apparently Angie Thomas, who's the author of this book, has written another book, The Hate You Give, and it is also set in The Garden, which I have not read yet, but I do own that book and I'm planning to read it later, and Cath apparently really loves it, so I'm sure I'm gonna like it too, and I'm hoping to read it soon. But this book, it's got a lot of black representation, just representation of how, you know, things are for people who have like a prejudice set against them. Like, we already know everything that's been happening in the States, and this book was just so, I would say, insightful into all of what is happening. And it also talks a lot about like drug dealing and just what, you know, all these students who are black are going through in their schools. It's heart-wrenching, honestly. And yeah, I just like really hope that situations change. But coming back to the book, it's about Bree wanting to become a rapper, all right? And I really love that I learned a lot about rapping in the book as well. I love the way that Angie Thomas like showed the thought process that goes behind rapping, because that was just something I didn't know about. I don't listen to a whole lot of rap. And secondly, it's just about Bree wanting to become famous, but learning to also be her true self along the way. Yeah, sounds like a Disney movie. But no, it was really good. I loved it so much. Bree was sort of like a stubborn person though. Like, sometimes I was a little annoyed by her, but not a whole lot. Like, I get it, she's a teenager. So yeah, the only reason I cut off that 0.5 stars is because of that. Like, sometimes I was a little annoyed by Bree and everything, and I didn't just like get that entirely 5-star feeling, so I gave this book 4.5 stars. But yeah, I'm really hoping to read The Hate You Give soon and see what I think about that. Okay, I was just ranting for so long, but yeah, I really love the book, and I highly recommend reading On the Come Up. And I mean, I'm pretty sure even The Hate You Give is really good. Then the next book and the last book of November was The Couple Next Door, again on audiobook. I can't really believe how many audiobooks I read, because I was the type of person who would say that audiobooks are not my cup of tea, but now I love them because I found the right type of audiobooks that I like. I really love listening to thriller audiobooks, and fiction and non-fiction just kind of puts me to sleep. I mean, I would rather read them in a book form. But yeah, this book, The Couple Next Door, is by Shari Lapina, and it's quite a good book. So it's about this couple, and like, it right off sets into action, which is kind of funny, but it's about this couple who go next door to their neighbors for a party, and they leave their 6-month-old baby alone in the house, and the baby is gone after they get back, and everyone is wondering where the baby went, and the police arrive, and it's just all going crazy. And later on we find out a lot of like twists, like there's all these revelations about the family, and it's just like, oh my god. Honestly, it was a good book, but I've read better thrillers. Again, like, the twists were something like, I was like, first of all the characters in this book are just despicable. Like, I did not like any of them, so everything that was happening, I was like, oh really? Like, I'm not even surprised that this person did this, because I just didn't like any of them. So I guess that is the reason why. And the ending, like, I don't understand why they had to do that. I just don't. And then there was nothing that happened after that, and I'm just like, what was the point of that? So I didn't understand that either. But yeah, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was a good read. I'm glad I listened to it on audiobook, because I was like playing Animal Crossing and all and listening to it. I wouldn't want to sit and read that book because, again, not my very favorite thriller. Like, after reading Riley Sager's books, I just don't like as many thrillers. But yeah, there's that. Oh my gosh, I've been raining for so long, but I really hope you like this wrap up. Those were all the 9 books that I read in November. I think they were 9. I mean, were they? Yeah, they were 9 books. And yeah, I'm really hoping I can read some more in December and get my goal done. I have read 53 books out of 60, and I'm hoping to read 60 this year. But yeah, I'm really excited for December for some Christmas reads, and I'm hopefully gonna put up like books I'm planning to read during Christmas video soon. But yeah, I hope that you're enjoying Vlogmas. I mean, it's not been that fun or exciting. Like, my videos are kind of boring probably because I'm just working from home, but yep. I'll see you soon on a new video, and I hope you're having a wonderful reading month or week or day or night. Just take care, stay safe, bye.